I look so washed out and pale. January is really getting to me. I'm so pale, but I'm not gonna tan. I've got something that I definitely want to tan for end of January, so I'm gonna like hold off on the tan until then so that I feel even more tan. Today I'm gonna do a little makeup tutorial. I'm gonna show you what I do. I am aware that no one has requested this, but I thought I'm gonna do it anyway because I want to. So I hope you enjoy. I'm gonna show you like my usual go-to makeup. You could call it go-to glam, but it's not like too much. I need to stop rambling and get into it. I've also got my mirror up here, so if I'm looking up here, that's why. And then I've got my makeup and my brushes over there. So I thought I'd do it in the natural light because the light from my usual makeup desk is kind of like, I don't know, it's not that good. I'm gonna start with a toner. I either use this hydrating lotion. I don't even know if it is a toner because all the back is in Korean. I either use this one or I use the Glow Recipe one. I'm gonna use the Glow Recipe one today because this is usually what I would more likely go for if I was doing makeup, rather than the other one's kind of more like I just use it as skincare. So I'm gonna go in with that first and I just like tap it in. Again, I don't know what I'm doing, okay? But what should know. So I put that on first. I don't use a primer. I know you may know, but I don't. Sorry. Then I'm gonna go in with the Weleda Skin Food. I've seen people saying that this is far too like thick. Yeah, just far too thick of a moisturizer, and it is so thick, but I have the driest skin ever. Suffer is crazy. I don't have it that bad, but I have eczema and my skin is dry everywhere. Luckily on my face it's like the least dry, but I have it everywhere, and especially like on my whole face. My eyelids get it the worst, which is really weird. So yeah, so I use this because it's definitely agrees with my skin. Also, I got a brow lamination at home kit off my boyfriend for Christmas, and it's freaking amazing. Like, they just stay in the same place. It's crazy. That's like all I do base wise. It really moisturizes my skin, gets everything full and ready. But then my tinted moisturizer that I use is also like very moisturizer heavy. This is the Vitamin C Daily UV Glow. It only adds like a tiny little glow and a tiny bit of color, but it does definitely like even out my skin tone. So I put that all over. I touch the thing to my face. I know you're not meant to do that as well, but I ain't got time. And then I mix what's on with a glow. So this one is definitely darker, so I would use this one if I was tan. This is so good. It's like so thick, but I'm gonna use this one today, which is Ageless Throat and Decolletage Cream Intensive Gold Plus. I love this one. It's got less of like a shimmer, but it's like goes really nice on the skin. And then I go in with my beauty blender to blend this. Now you're gonna be like, hey, it looks no different, and you are right, but like I don't know, like especially when I've worn my makeup like for longer, so by like the time it's like dinner or whatever, I feel like my makeup looks more on than if I didn't do this tinted moisturizer stuff. I try not to go right underneath my eyes. I've got a big ass forehead, so gotta really go to the hairline. Now I use my brow gel. Now I put this on now to let it sort of sit while I do the rest of my makeup, or the next sets of my makeup. So I basically brush it across all of my eyebrows and then I brush it up. A lot of people will relate to this, whereas I have like one good eyebrow, which is this one, and she looks gorgeous all the time. Beautiful. Then this one is never as good. Like generally there, my brain went to, don't say this one doesn't look as good, because then it will deliberately not look good because you've upset it. It's an eyebrow. Anyway, once we let that brow gel dry, we're gonna go in with the BFF Bronzing Face Frosting. Now this, I love this. So good when you're pale and it blends in so well. I've heard that people think it's dry or whatever, but I don't. And I try and like tap it in rather than drag it in, but I'm not gonna lie to you, definitely end up dragging it. And my forehead, I struggle to do as well because there's so much space up there. Struggle to blend it as well. So I just like focus on just like above the corners of my eyebrows. And then I'm gonna do a tiny bit just under my chin. It's And I do a double check to make sure I've blended. I don't do intense nose contour because it feels like it looks too like intense on my face. So, and especially because I've got a bump. Can you see? I've got a bump in my nose. And like both sides are not even, they're like crooked. So if I try and like make them look even, it usually just ends up with them looking more crooked. I'm like, I haven't got a deviated septum, but I'm like, did I break my nose? Then I'm gonna go in with this Made by Mitchell blush. This is in the shade, I don't know the shade, it doesn't say, but it's a very pink shade. So I put that on my cheeks and a little bit on my nose. I use the same brush, I use this brush, and I just tap. I really try not to drag this one as much. That just like removes the bronzer that I've done. Now, onto concealer. I use the Can't Stop Won't Stop NYX concealer in a very light shade because when I'm pale, I'm pale. So I need to have a concealer that's gonna last all year round. I put it there, a little bit there, a little bit there, a little bit there. And then I can sometimes drag it up there. But I don't always do that, but I just think I'm filming me as well. What we're gonna do now, we're gonna let that sit and we are gonna do our brows. I use the Collection brow pencil. I'm gonna need to sharpen it a little bit. So, and I'm gonna just lightly fill in my brows. Now they don't need much because they are tinted at the minute. I'm just gonna try and like, and then there you go. Like blending the front bits of the brow gel and just like sticking them up because I like the front hairs to be like straight. I don't know if that's weird. And then while this is still sitting, I then put a little bit underneath my eyebrows as well. Like so. Get my brush and I carve out my brows. Again, I don't do this like too exact. Like I used to have like blocks of like a brow pomade, and generally sometimes I think about getting a brow pomade because honestly it was so good, and especially when I like do a more natural brow, I feel like a brow pomade could honestly be better. But yeah, I used to do like a block brow. Don't do that anymore though, although at the time it was a look, I can't lie. I'm gonna start to blend, so I do chin and cheeks, and then I do there. I do my under eyes and that all as one, and then I need to set it like I'll blend the chin, blend the cheek, blend the other one, and then we need to get ready because this is when it gets serious. I've got my setting powder ready. I'm gonna blend and set. Okay, and we're gonna set. Beautiful. Then we do the other side. And then we try and not crease. And we set. To bend my nose, I get a concealer brush and I just tap it. Beautiful. Now, what I do is I get like a small fluffy brush and I'm just gonna set basically most of my face. Try not to inhale it too much. This is just because at this point I want to lock everything in before I go in with my powder products. And then bronzer wise, I tend to not do too much bronzer because I used to go crazy with the bronzer and that was definitely a look at the time. My current bronzer is actually like so smashed to bits, I can't use it. But I'm gonna use this color here in this number 7 palette, and I want to use a big fluffy brush. In and just lightly, and I only try and go over the areas that I've already bronzed with the cream bronzer because otherwise I get a bit crazy. We bronze the nose. I get this small fluffy brush, tap off any excess, and I do my eyelids. This is crucial to me. I always do a little bit of bronzer in the eyelids. It brings the whole face together. Beautiful. And then we're gonna bring just to the top of our nose. I know I said before I don't contour my nose, and I don't. I literally just, well, I guess I do actually, I'm so big fat lie. But I just like do like the blending into my eyebrow. Because if I go down, like I try to avoid the bump. So I do my eyebrow and then I do underneath. Just to lift it a little bit. You get me? We on the same drift. Onto blush. I've had this blush I think since I was in like year 7 and we ain't touching pan yet. So the new golden pink blush. And again, I just put that where I put the original brush. So I'm just like topping it up kind of. I try to not go too crazy because I can definitely get carried away. And a little bit on my nose. And I even put some on my forehead. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Now we must set. So I've got the Elle Stay All Night Blue Light Setting Mist. I like to put on a generous amount. And I let that sit. Now while it's still a little like when you can like still feel that it's a bit wet, I get my highlighter. Again, I can't tell you how long I've had this. She serves me well. And I do my nose. A tiny little bit. I do again my inner eyes, again a tiny little bit. I do under my brows, just the corner, which is my favorite. I'm gonna get a little Stila eyeliner pencil and do just a little tiny wing, like that. I think literally tiny. With a angle brush, I just literally tap it to like blend it out a little bit because I'm not gonna be putting on mascara today because I've still got a little bit of a couple eyelash extensions on and I don't want to mascara over them because that feels wrong. And I think apart from the lips, this is it. We're done. For my lips, I don't really have like a go-to lip. I do a different thing most times. This is a lifter liner from Maybelline. It's quite dark, but I always do quite a dark lip. I would sometimes put on a little bit of lipstick, but today I'm just going to go in with a gloss. I'm going to use this Say pink gloss I got for Christmas in the shade Burst. And oh, this is beautiful gloss. And there you have it. Very bronzy, but also like pretty natural. And also super quick, super quick. If I was going out, I would just do a foundation and probably more cream products. Like, I'd be more heavy-handed on the cream products. But yes, this is it. This is the makeup look. Hope you'll enjoy it and I'll see you soon. Next video will definitely be a vlog of some sort, so we'll be back to the usual scheduled programming. But yes, love y'all, bye.